3 februari, dit is 3 voor 12 radio met een heel bijzonder uur voor je. Want hoog bezoek vandaag, het is Karl Hyde, genie van de legendarische Britse danceact Underworld. Je kent ze bijvoorbeeld van Born Slippy of het klassieke album The No Bass With My Head. Legendarische optredens op bijvoorbeeld afgelopen Lowlands nog. Komende zomer op Paaspop. En ze zijn terug, 2 weken geleden brachten ze de single I Exhale uit. In maart komt dan een album uit. Het is het eerste in 5 jaar. Kortom, genoeg om over te praten. En heeft hij ook nog eens een hele berg van zijn favoriete muziek mee. Karl, good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy that you're here to, educate us for a whole hour with all of your favorite music.
No, I'm just going to wipe everybody's memory.
I'm almost going to call you like Dr. Karl Hyde, because you have like only classics for us.
Well, tonight, we're going to take a trip down memory lane, look at the roots of dance music, the things that kind of have inspired us over the years.
We're going to start with Royal House and Can You Party?
Yeah, we can party, actually. Yeah, Royal House. Yeah, really, to me, this was the sound of the pirate radio stations when we were starting this version of the band. You know, we had a very different group back in the 1980s when we were trying to be pop stars. And
got really disappointed.
We got extremely disappointed because we were very bad at it. But we were listening to the pirate stations in London. They were playing this acid house, and it sounded to us like the music that we were listening to as kids. You know, that kind of German electronic music, Tangerine Dream, Kraftwerk, and we just wanted to be part of it.
And what happened next?
Well, here we are.
What a track, Karl. Thank you for introducing us to this.
Yeah. You know, it's just taking me back, and I don't normally like going back there, but some of these sounds were fantastic when you go into clubs and you go to raves, and it's a really familiar sound from that time, so evocative.
Let's talk about the next track.
Yeah.
It's Help Me Somebody from Brian Eno, David Byrne.
Yeah, well, 2 young men who are trying to make it in the music business. So this is a brand new record that's never been released before. No, you know, this is the great masters. And Brian Eno and David Byrne have done so many fantastic things together, separately and together, obviously with the Talking Heads, but made some seminal records. My Life in the Bush of Ghost being one of them, where they were looking at samples of other records and manufacturing new sounds and new music out of other people's music. This is really quite a seminal work.
But you, of course, also work with Brian Eno on High Life 2014.
Only when he pays me to.
Well, is he planning on paying you some more, in
Brian's great.
Time?
Yeah, well, we've been friends for about 20 years now. We've done lots of things. We've done impromptu performances together. We've done improvised performances at the Sydney Opera House. We've appeared in bands together and made records together. And I kind of grew up on his music, so when we get together in the studio, it's like we've known each other forever. He's a really good guy, and I love working with him. Really do love working with him.
What's the best part in Help Me Somebody?
That bit.
You've got a 70-year-old daughter and she makes music, right?
Yeah, she's into music. I've really tried to persuade her not to be, but she's good, so what the hell?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not let her into music?
Okay, do you want a serious answer?
Yeah?
The music industry is not a place that is good to women, I don't think, on the whole. I think it's a very strange place for a woman to be. On the whole, I don't think it's yet learned the proper respect for women. But, there you go.
Tell me a little bit more about this, because, I have a little bit experience being a woman myself.
Yeah. I mean, you do, as you know yourself. Women have to fight for their place in the arts. Certainly. I think there's still more men than women in the arts, and that's a bad thing. Women have got a fantastic point of view, which is very different and is an essential contribution. I'm kind of biased being a father of 2 daughters, so I kind of see it from a different point of view now.
Yeah. But at what point are they not treated right?
Man, I mean, women are just not treated right. And so she's going to have to fight for a place in everything. And of course, a lot of women is kind of, as soon as they walk in the room, men go, And there's all that. And as a dad, I'm like, I know where you live.
Well, I can see your point a little bit, but who's gonna change it if no one's trying it?
Oh no, I believe that. It's just when you want your child to. Of course, you grow up. You want your children to be safe and happy and around people that are encouraging and kind of want to treat them like a fellow human being. You don't want them to be in places where they're seen as a second-class citizen, or they're looked at as objects, or they're kind of put down because they're not of the male gender. And I know there's some fantastic women, some really powerful, fantastic women. And I just kind of wanted my daughter to have an easier life than that. But hey, she's told me she's got no choice. So I thought, well, okay, fair enough, then I'll help you. And if you have no choice, I understand that.
And how can you help her? In what ways? Like advice or contacts?
Yeah,
or?
Oh, no, absolutely. Advice. Well, she does things her own way. And she's a great player. She's a really great player. So,
yeah. What do you think about her music? You know, this is Dutch radio. She isn't listening.
Oh, it's really good. She's in a fantastic band. They're all sort of 17, 18, making music not like anybody else. I've seen every gig, and honestly, I'm not being polite when I tell her that she's probably in the best band that's in the city. You know, it's really fantastic.
What kind of music is this?
It's kind of cross between Captain Beefheart and The Fall. Which for 17
so what mind is blown.
For 17-year-olds is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And they've got an extraordinary saxophonist who's probably one of the best sax players for his age. Two drummers, she plays bass. There's a vocalist who kind of rants while reading stuff from a piece of paper, and then suddenly starts crooning, and a guitarist that looks like he's afraid his guitar is going to attack him, but plays fantastic. They're a joy to watch.
This sounds extreme.
Yeah, but it's great. It's really great. I'm dead proud. Yeah.
Do you recognize yourself as a 70-year-old in her or not?
Oh God, no, absolutely not. No, I was nowhere near as good as her. Nowhere near.
Proud father here. Heard the rumor, right?
Oh, it's true. Whatever it was.
You learned to dance the way you do at a party here in the Netherlands?
Oh, you know what? That is true.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened? Where was it?
It was at Welcome to the Future party, and I saw all the girls dancing on their podiums, and I thought, hey, that's really good. For lots of reasons, but actually,
a bunch of girls on a podium, and he thought that looks good.
Yeah, you know, well, the dancing actually.
Oh,
yeah. This is a family show. You know,
no, this is absolutely not a family show.
Oh, no. In that case, it was more than the dancing, but it was there's a dancing, and I remember saying when we played like here last year, it was a big respect to the dancers of that show because they taught me a lot about dancing.
But what happened? You stood there, and you were like, "Oh my God, the dancing!" And did you get on stage, or what happened?
No, I've never danced. I don't dance. I just absorb things. I remember being in lots of shows where people would come up to me and say, "Are you dead?" Because it was all kicking off, and I'd be the only person not moving.
Yeah.
But I'm always afraid that if I move, I won't absorb it. So I kind of just stand there and absorb it, and then it comes out at some point later. You know, when I walk on stage, it's everything that I've ever remembered from a kid, from James Brown to the Supremes to Prince to anything, you know, go-go dancers. But when I saw those girls at Welcome to the Future party who were kind of rave dancing in a fantastic way,
yeah,
it just all made sense. And that was the thread that joined it all together.
And do you think your synesthesia has something to do with it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, it is, because a lot of my dancing is me. It's going to sound really weird, folks, but a lot of my dancing is when sound starts to kick off on stage. All these shapes start to form in the air. Oh God, you can turn off now.
No.
The guy's getting weird.
Pharrell's the same thing. He says, "I see sounds."
The English guy's getting weird. Yeah, so I see all these shapes, and what I'm doing is I'm moving through all these shapes, and that's what I do. And when I work as a painter as well, so my paintings are about painting the shapes that I see all the time. I try not to tell anybody about this. Actually, it's not true. None of it. Don't wait for me outside. The little van is parked outside waiting.
So let's talk about the new album, Karl.
Yeah, let's talk about the new album. Whose new album should we talk about?
Your new album.
Okay, well, Underworld's. Let's talk about Underworld's new album. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's released 18 March. It's the first one in 6 years?
It is. Well, it's the first one from Underworld in 6 years, yeah.
And I noticed it's... You know, a colleague of mine told me that you always carry a notebook at all times and write whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I spend an hour every morning from about 7 o'clock in the morning. I go and find a cafe, and I write every day, 7 days a week, for
So
at least
early.
an hour. Yeah, it's kind of late, really. I've got kids, you know. It's really late.
And when did Barbara first appear in one of those notebooks? You know, the new album.
Oh, that wasn't. No. That Barbara. It's actually a very happy story, although it might sound sad. It was one of the last things that Rick, my partner's father, said before he passed away. And Rick's mom is called Barbara, and she was fearful, I guess, of the future. And he said to her, Barbara, we face a shining future. That's such a cool thing to say. And when I heard that, I said, that has to be the title of the record. And of course, I didn't know that he was going to pass away. And when he did, there was no question. It had to be the title.
Nice story, this.
Oh, it's really positive, man. Really positive.
You've been using some unusual sounds like screaming into electrified banjos and scratching guitars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, is this the first time that you've gone so extreme, or...?
It's the first time that the two of us have written everything together in the studio every day. We went into the studio with nothing. We just with two little piles of equipment and some words, and we just started making sounds. And the minute that we were excited about the sounds that we were making, we started recording, and every day we wrote something new, 2 days a week. It was the best time, absolutely the best time, and I wish we were back in the studio now.
You'll be here in the Netherlands on stage at Paaspop.
Yeah.
Big headlining gig over here.
Yeah.
Will there be loads of new material?
Yeah. Yeah, in the show. Yeah, there will. Yeah, I tell you, some of this stuff is really hard to learn. Some of it's the toughest I've ever had to learn, but it's great.
What's so tough then?
Well, you know, some of these lyrics, they're random. They're pretty random in their rhythm, in the way they're syncopated. Because when we're in the studio, what's going on in my head is completely different to any other time, and so having to put myself back in that place is really tough. You know?